Welcome to Butrint National Park, everybody. Here we are just hanging out in a 4th century BC theater. Just relaxing and sitting here in something that was built 300 or 400 years before Jesus was born.
Wow.
This structure alone is worth the $10 admission price. And just to be clear, there are dozens and dozens of relics and monuments and artifacts all across this island. Ivana and I have been wandering around for almost 2 hours now. Absolutely incredible. Ivana actually walked through a gate with stones over her head that were laid 2,400 years ago. And you can see how they put the stones together 2,400 years ago with no cement and no mortar, just these super massive stones that were cut perfectly to fit together. I'm getting vibes of the Egyptian pyramids that I've never seen, but just the way they put the stones together so perfectly, and it's everywhere you look. I mean, if you look at this bench here, you can see this groove all along, and you think, what was that groove for? They built this 2,400 years ago. Why is there this groove? Well, I think it's because one guy would sit here, and he would put his feet here. This is like the foot spot, and this is the butt spot. You know, like the attention to detail, to get all these stones here 2,400 years ago seems hard enough. But to do it with this little groove where, you know, every row has a butt spot and a foot spot, it just blows my mind.
Lots of thought.
That they could do these things so long ago. It really is incredible. And what's amazing about Butrint is after the Greek Hellenistic era, there was the Roman era of Butrint Island, which existed up until about 6th century AD, and then there was the medieval era where things started falling apart. But because of this amazing history, you've got some artifacts here that are 2,500 years old, some that are 1,500 years old, and some that are 500 years old. So it's sort of like a, you know, walk through time as you're going all around. One of my favorites of the Roman era was the baptistery, which is a place where Catholic babies would be baptized. You can see the little pool in the middle with all the columns. You can imagine those Roman columns would be with the vertical grooves, very indicative of the Roman architecture. And what's incredible is if you look at the floor of the baptistery, it's all covered in sand. But underneath the sand, evidently there's a entire intact mosaic floor that is the most intact and best intact mosaic floor baptistery in the world. So the question is, why is it covered in sand? It's because they're protecting it from the elements, the rain and the sun and things. You can see a picture of it here on the brochure. This is what it would look like. It's sort of amazing. So evidently once every couple years they put the sand away, and there's like a lineup of people who just want to see this incredible mosaic floor. Lucky for us, we did see a glimpse of the 1,500-year-old mosaic at the 6th century AD Grand Basilica. Now, a basilica is a church specifically built for a bishop. So it's just incredible. You get to walk through this thing. It's sort of open air. There's nobody around. You're wandering through this 1,500-year-old basilica, and then you see this floor in the corner, which is incredibly intact and so intricately done and 1,500 years old. So you can imagine the baptistery has the entire 360-degree floor looking like that. I mean, this island for me, just incredible. It's just absolutely incredible. Now, on top of the island, there's a castle that was built in the 14th century. So it's about 500 years old. Unfortunately, it's been reconstructed in the 1930s. So it's like 100 years old, really, but they built it in the exact same style of the medieval era, like 500 years ago. And inside the castle, there's a museum. Unfortunately, no cameras allowed in the museum. But just incredible history here. This is one of my highlights of all of Albania for me. I mean, we're just wandering through this island, and everywhere you look is 500, 1,500, or 2,500 3,500-year-old structures.
Amazing.
Absolutely incredible. So we still got a little bit more of the island to see. Let's go keep wandering. But I mean, check out the theater.
Amazing.
Incredible, right?
Yes. And
2,400 years old.
Bravo to you, our history teacher.
This is fun. This is like the best for me. Just learning and just sort of admiring. I mean, there were people sitting here 2,400 years ago, watching a show. Maybe he was juggling or doing some comedy thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's just so special to sit here.
Amazing.
And just kind of, you know, feel like there's history rushing through your veins, you know? It's just incredible.
Wow.
So they've done a really good job at this park. And $10 to me is like, it could be 5 times that. It's so worth it. It's so incredibly worth it.
Big park.
Yeah, huge
Really
park.
Big one.
Oh, just great. Okay, let's go keep exploring.
Yes, let's go.
All right, so all around the theater, we have these remnants and ruins of these buildings that I'm learning are in fact shrines and sanctuaries or places to worship. Now, seeing as they were all built before Jesus, what they were worshiping was something from Greek mythology, specifically the god Asclepius, who was the son of Apollo in Greek mythology, and he was the god of medicine. They're saying maybe, you know, quite possibly the Greeks worshipped the god of medicine here because of all the fresh water springs that were around this island, sort of healing and medicinal and sort of a cleansing place. So they made this specific sanctuary and shrines for the god of healing, Asclepius, god of medicine, I should say. Now, I think there's a boat ride we can go on, Ivana and I, and we can see a 500 or so year old triangular fort, they're calling it. This will be built by someone named Ali Pasha, I think, which was a Ottoman era leader. So if we see that, we can check all the boxes. 2,500-year-old remnants, 1,500-year-old remnants, and 500-year-old remnants.
This is like a playground.
It's like a playground. I really love how it's go at your own pace, take your time.
Yeah.
It's sort of an open air museum, and I love all the different eras. I feel like I've traveled through time today. So let's go jump on a boat. I think it's just outside the front gate, and we can, I mean, look how beautiful this is. It's just amazing. Over here especially. So incredible to think, you know, this stone pattern again, same as the gate, where they get these gigantic stones cut so perfectly together. And that was like before Jesus, like more than 2,000 years ago.
Yes.
Poof. This is my kind of travel experience. Okay, I say we jump on a boat and we can go see something, I think about 500 years old, triangular fort. Let's go. Oh, sorry guys, I misunderstood. This is the triangular fort right here, which is just beside Butrint National Park. It looks like this, as you can see. And you can access it with this funny platform on a cable, I guess, which looks like it's built for cars, but they're just sitting on it. And then Ali Pasha's castle is a different thing. I thought the triangular fort and Ali Pasha's castle were the same thing.
No,
unfortunately, Ali Pasha's castle is way down there, and you go on it with a boat. But I was talking to the boat guy, and he says we just go up in the boat, and we sit in the boat and look at the castle. You don't actually get out and go through it. So the boat guy says. So I think we'll skip Ali Pasha's castle and triangular fort today. Yeah. I think we've seen the vast majority of it in the national park.
Yeah. That's right.
I will say I absolutely
we spent like
recommend
3 hours in there.
Yeah, we always budget like 1 hour for historical stuff, and then I always make it take so longer. It's like
Steve loves
3.5
history.
hours in the Butrint National Park. I mean, it's great. It's a little bit like hiking. It's a lot like learning, and it's super beautiful.
Yes.
So everywhere you look, you've got all these different monuments and structures. We didn't list them all for you because there's so many and they're so interesting. We just try to do the best and most important, biggest ones. But thanks for watching our video today. I had so much fun filming this one.
We were in an awe the whole time.
It's
just
amazing.
Because the stuff there, the buildings, they're all so old. So
Still
old.
can't get past the way they put those stones together 2400 years ago. They had the
Yeah.
stones fitting together like perfect.
Great day here. By the way, Butrint National Park. It's only like probably a 10 minutes drive from Ksamil where we were yesterday.
Yeah, 10 or 15 minutes from the beach.
Yeah, it's very
So I would say
close.
it's a must do. I had so
Yeah.
much fun here.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching our video, guys. And we'll see you in the next one. The road trip
Alright.
continues.
Yay!
See you guys.
Bye.
Wow.
This is the real castle.
Castle. Wow. With the top of the castle, that's exactly how I imagine a castle to be. With those square kind of, you know,
In Canada, we have the Monday full times, which is like a dinner show.
dinner and a show.
And the castle looks just like this.
Yep.
But this is the real deal.
This is a real deal. Oof.